Bad CGI in anime. I hate good CGI. I like bad.
Everybody run! It's coming! It's coming! We're being attacked by bad CG! In the past, anime and CG have not had the best public
Art. I think this is perfect.
relationship. The general reaction from someone when they hear the mere mention of CG being integrated into their favorite anime is that they pack up and start running a fucking mile like they've just found out we're getting
Not me. I hate when it's 2D. I hate. Oh my god. Terrible frame.
invaded by Nazis,
Oh my
or
God.
even more horrifyingly, CG Nazis. But today I wanted to evaluate if CG really deserves its reputation within the anime community. What are some examples of it being used well and badly, and what are some of the different ways that CG have been integrated into anime? So first, we need to answer the question, what is bad CG? And
This is the deepest question a philosopher has ever made.
here's the catch. You aren't allowed to use any word that rhymes with Shishmirk 2017. Well, if we look at the dictionary definition of bad CG, we can quite clearly see that, oh for fuck's sake!
Yeah, this is terrible. Yeah, I can't defend this. This is terrible.
I'm sure we can all agree that it is CGI effects that is noticeable enough to take you out of your immersion and break your suspension of disbelief. An out-of-place object, some stupid-looking expression, a lot of things can take you out of an experience, but that's the thing to keep in mind. Bad CG is bad CG because you notice bad CG.
Yes, so the solution is stop noticing things. Everything bad becomes bad because you see it. If you stop noticing,
Bad
like, there's nothing bad anymore.
CG. Sorry, I just wanted to say bad CG one more time. I think a good place to start is just seeing how the general use and look of CG has evolved over time. We normally associate CG with more modern age anime, but CG effects have been around for a lot longer than people think, and over time has gotten better at blending in objects. If you look at most modern anime carefully, you'd be hard pressed to
Oh, you're gonna talk about the best one ever.
find one that doesn't incorporate some sort of computer rendered object in it, and a lot of the time you don't notice because it's not something that's
The song
significant.
starts, everybody starts shooting heroin already.
There's been a lot of debate over how CG has changed the general look of mechs over the years, and honestly I think it comes down to how bland and forgettable modern mechs feel. They all move the same, they all
Yeah, those mechs
feel the same,
are
with
bad.
the same clunky video game style that never looks quite as natural as hand-drawn mechs. Nothing becomes as memorable even if you have a cool design. I mean, fuck! Chamber from Suicide no
Okay, this is cool. The Tsunami.
Gargantia had the thighs of a seasoned Las
Yeah.
Vegas pole dancer, and this was never appreciated
Yeah, and some people found this hot, I think.
enough.
Damn, boy, he's thick! Boy, that's a thick ass boy!
Whether it be to speed up the production time or make up for a lack of talent who can animate mechs well, it feels like CG mechs are used as a compensation tool rather than a deliberate creative decision, because when done correctly, they look just as fantastic. The sequences of the unicorn transforming look fucking amazing, and the reason they do this is because they're done in CG. Trying to animate this level of complicated mechanical panel movement would be
Okay, I'm gonna try to animate it.
absurdly difficult by hand, and they managed to make it not look like an in-engine video game cutscene. However, one thing that the industry is still figuring out how to do correctly is with characters, and it doesn't matter if they are in the foreground.
Yeah, I think it's way harder to do a human than a robot. I don't know about robots and humans, but I think it's harder.
The background. There's an old Chinese proverb that goes, "Life is like a crosswalk, full of opportunity in every direction."
Yes. You can, people can run over you, like you can get in an accident in every direction. There's a truck-kun for every road.
Unless that crosswalk contains a CG anime crowd, in which case you're probably burning in hell. Yeah, CGI crowds are the one thing I think are destined to always look like complete shit. Nothing's more distracting than when there's something important going
I
on.
think it's better to be complete shit than being half shit. You need to be complete. You need to be full about everything.
But your brain is unable to focus on anything but the same 5 PlayStation 2 motherfuckers hanging out in the background,
She's really the protagonist.
trying horrendously bad to blend in. Oi mate, why does your face look like bad CG? Why does everyone look like bad CG?
Everybody's shining.
Am I in a bad CG nightmare right now? And
I think reality has a bad CG, I have to say. When I see people in reality, I always think like, man, you're not being like nicely programmed, you know?
Really did try finding a good example of anime CGI crowds, so if anyone does have any good examples, then please contact me at CGI crowds that don't make my eyes want to commit suicide at gmail.com. But this
Man, I got hacked by that email.
extends to foreground characters, where you have to battle against this weird uncanny valley effect, where characters kinda look anime, but not anime enough, so when they're just there, front and center, with no attempt to blend it in, your brain has time to process what you're watching, so you kinda notice, wait a minute, these are the same guys they hired to do the Mass Effect Andromeda facial animations.
I prefer the anime CGI than the video game at this point. Like,
Even when
the
they look
comparison he made.
competent, when you are restricted to 3D models emulating a 2D art style, there is less freedom to work with when it comes to subtle expressions, nuanced character animation, and even the best examples we've had so far don't even come close to the best examples in 2D animation. Yet. Things are looking better, but
That's why I think reality should transform to 2D animation. I'm tired of having 3 dimensionals. Don't you feel tired sometimes of having that many dimensions? 3? Sometimes I need 2. I think I only need 2 to do my life. I don't need more than 2 dimensions.
the next problem is actually being able to blend these two elements. The issue you face when you blend 2D animation with 3D elements is the aesthetic clash. When we are watching an animated show, we know it is an animated show that does not exist within our universe, but we are fully invested
I don't know the difference.
in suspending our disbelief for that world. However, if you see two objects that blatantly look like they don't belong in the same universe, it works against that suspension of disbelief. Golden Kamuy is the latest example of this, where you have standard anime characters fighting that fucking bear from Far Cry 5 with a cel-shaded wolf in a background of green screen fire effects. The
My favorite is the fire.
visual cohesion is an absolute mess, and personally I much prefer this early leaked test footage, as at least it has a uniform visual style, which, you know, it just makes the fights it's just fun.
Wait, the bear, is this AI? No, the bear knows to fight. How to fight? No, don't do that to the bear!
Different aesthetics only really work when the juxtaposition is purposefully part of the visual style, or when it's supposed to happen narratively. There are, however, effective ways to blend the two elements that we are seeing more often. When CG is limited to dynamic background environments, the fast-paced movement of the foreground animation is only enhanced, allowing for more freedom of camera movements, which results in being able to do complex shots like this, without giving the viewer adequate time to notice the aesthetic clash. There are countless examples, from Attack on Titan to Code Geass, Akito the Exiled, even some of the more intricate shots from Monogatari, which fully take advantage
Okay, this is perfect. I think this fight scene is incredible.
of this, or with other shows that had some shots that were rotoscoped with the aid of CG tools. The important thing is that the CG is
The best Evangelion waifu. People get all crazy about Misato, Rei, Asuka, and those girls. Man, you need to know how love presents to you sometimes. I think this prism, this object, I think this is the perfect wife. I think this is a princess.
never the main focus, or is rendered in such a way that it naturally fits in with the visual style of the show. In this sense, Ufotable are the fucking gods at this. Throughout the years, they have perfected the art of digital composition and blending traditional animation with computer-aided effects to the point where you can hardly tell the difference. My first exposure to them was their first take on the Fate franchise, and
God, Fate is perfect.
No, not you. Get the fuck out of here. And at the time, it blew me away, and I thought anime couldn't look better than this. But then they came back with Unlimited Blade Works, and no, not fucking you! And have continually improved and pushed the boundaries so much so that they have crafted a unique visual style which is instantly recognizable. And no one really calls this CG anime, despite how much they use it. But moving on, a different problem from
Man, it would even wizards to animate this.
blending 2D and 3D is when you are completely switching between the two. Let me set the scene. You're enjoying a classic show. It looks awesome.
Imagine you go to 3D to 1D.
And the characters look great, and we're just about to get to the heart-pumping action scene. Then, without any warning, it cuts to the action, and you notice something's a bit off about the way the show looks. And then, just as you get used to it, it switches back to before, and you're like, okay, maybe my eyes were being funny. Then, you begin to look really closely, and slowly,
This scene is better.
you realize that maybe there is something different about the way the show looks.
Perfect. This is my Mona Lisa, this scene.
Constantly switching from 2D to 3D to 2D again is a guaranteed method to make the viewer feel a sense of visual whiplash, and this to me is right up there with CG crowd.
Oh my god, the guy just died.
For anime things that fucking keep me up at night. The most recent offenders I can think of are with Inuyashiki and the Berserk movie trilogy, and the thing is, the CG sometimes doesn't even
I love Inuyashiki's CGI. I'm gonna defend it.
look bad.
I think it's great.
I wouldn't even mind if some of these shows were fully 3D. It's just a no, shut the fuck up. It's just the constant switching between visual styles that break any kind of immersion you could be having. And I would prefer it so much if they just chose one style and committed to it. I mean, we've all heard of jazz hands, but have you tried the hottest trend? Bad CG piano hands? What people don't normally talk about, however,
I don't know anything about piano, so I always believe it.
is that the Switch can be done well if we stick to some of the same rules we talked about. Kill la Kill is a good example. If I tell you Kill la Kill used a lot of CG, your mind will probably go back to that one time Satsuki was apparently ice skating vertically up a building, which, how can I eloquently put this?
Genius.
It looks shit. But what you
Yes, I was wrong.
probably don't know is just how many cuts were completely CG, like this shot, or this entire sequence, where they built an entirely new 3D model just to accentuate these few frames. And unless you are flicking through frame by frame and know exactly what to look for, you won't even notice, exactly because it was disguised so well as opposed to being lauded front and center. But
I think this is perfect. Man, I prefer this than most of the things. I prefer this than the birds. I prefer this than the butterflies. I prefer this than not dogs. I love dogs.
that leads into the big daddy. Fully 3D anime. If there was a final boss for the anime industry, this would be it. And for most of the time so far, anime has handled it about as well as a Facebook surfing Candy Crush addicted grandma attempting a no-hit run on Dark Souls. The problem a lot of us had with early CG anime was that they seemingly came in with the approach of trying to emulate the 2D art style with a completely different tool. And it doesn't take a genius to tell you that if you aren't using your tools correctly, it probably won't go well. Movement felt restricted and robotic. Characters just weren't as expressive. The frame rate sometimes looked really dodgy as they purposely restricted it. Something even one guy who helped make silly internet videos figured out was a dumb fuck idea before an entire
I'm not seeing any problems here. I'm seeing just perfection.
industry did. They didn't play to their strengths, but despite this, as time went on, things began improving. Acceptable shows started appearing. We slowly started to accept that maybe there could be a space for CG anime. And just as we thought
Terrible thing to think.
things were starting
There's a space for this and then
to look up,
everything's bad.
Berserk 2016 came crash
Yes, this is the art.
landing into the scene.
Oh, fuck.
But it's okay! Thanks to the collective effort of every half-decent CG anime to come out, we managed to stop this from ruining everything. Quick! Polygon Pictures, release something half-decent and maybe we can get out of this!
Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Kimono Friends, Nobunaga
What a crazy scene.
Tieto, Kado. These were fully 3D shows that managed to be enjoyable, but the problem is I feel these shows were enjoyable in spite of its CG, not because of it. Over the years, Polygon Pictures have tried their damned hardest to make a case
I
for
don't think I wanna watch this.
fully 3D anime and continually improves with every project they work on. But to me, it's the same problem. There's nothing that makes me think I would rather see these shows using CG over traditional animation if given an aesthetic choice. That is, until we got the one show we were waiting for.
Let me guess. No, I can't. I think this is One Punch Man 3 because it's a great CG.
Land of the Lustrous. A show
Everybody says good things about this one.
like this was a long time coming, but despite how many opinions it changed about CG anime, it didn't really do anything new that we haven't already discussed. What it did do was understand what the strengths were for CG as a tool and play to those strengths. The CG crystal effects and metallic textures gave the show a unique visual identity that wouldn't be as striking if it were in 2D, and the number of dynamic shots it was able to pull off in its action scenes, chase scenes, or just using long shots to build this claustrophobic tension is something that could only be achieved using CG. Hopefully by the end of this, you can get the idea that despite the reputation
Wait, this is the only one good? The rest is all shit?
CG in anime has right now, CG can look good and has looked good for years. Even if you're not a fan of the aesthetic seen in Polygon Pictures works or Land of the Lustrous, you've
I think this water one, the crystal one is beautiful.
probably appreciated it even if you didn't know. But that's just it. It's a lose-lose situation because if CG does its job well, it won't even be noticed. But if it does fail, then it's forever doomed to have some shitty anime YouTuber.
I have to watch this Berserk movie because everybody says it's so terrible, so ugly. But I have a love for I have a very deep devotion and love for ugly animation, so
cement it into
let's go. I'm gonna watch it. I'm not gonna watch it. Maybe I will.
Its failures are exposed and its successes are ignored, but it's important to note that whether it's good or bad largely depends on the
How can you say this is bad?
No.
This is very complex. Come on, doing this, we don't know what the fuck this is. The guy who made this doesn't know what this is. A lot of mechanical stuff. This is hard to do. It's impossible for me to do this.
To note that whether it's good or bad largely depends on the understanding from the creator of the strengths and limitations of working with CG as a tool, as it is with every other medium. CG has become a standard part of anime nowadays, so if you're not a fan of that, then I can suggest that you watch older anime. Take the 80s for example. Computer effects may have started to become revolutionary in Hollywood, but anime was
Watch. Never understood. Watch when they didn't have those computers.
Still untouched and pure. You know, back then they would never ruin their anime by rendering things using ugly PlayStation 1 graphics.
Yes, because there was no PlayStation 1.
Because they were too busy rendering things with a fucking Atari 20.
Oh my god, I know this movie. I watched this movie.
26.
I know this scene.
100.
This is art.
Bruv, why is your helicopter bad CG?
No, show the entire.
Face bad CG? Why is your life bad CG?
No. I want to see the complete scene. That scene is the best animation ever. Like it's like it's so hard to compare that I can't compare. Like it's comparable, like not comparable. You know, it's comparable with nothing. But nothing is comparable to nothing. So, yeah.